Hello, this is Ground and Air coming at you again. I got another small product review that I wanted to do with you today. We'll go ahead and get it opened up, see what we have here. Alright, what you see here is a do-it-yourself drone. It's a drone that I'd seen online. Comes in pieces basically, and you have to put it together. It's not too complicated. The main reason why I actually got it is because the camera that's on it, I believe, is a 600 TV line 3.7 volt camera that got pretty good video. It actually does pretty well at night. You know, not as good as like a DJI, but it's better than my Hubsan camera. So I thought about it. It's a 5.8 gigahertz camera and transmitter, and for the price that I was going to pay for the camera, I paid for the whole quadcopter with the controller. So without further ado, let's go ahead and open it up, see what we got. Looks like the package isn't the greatest, but there we go. There's the quadcopter, and there's the controller. And it looks like we've got some instructions. Let's set this aside. Looks like everything's pretty straightforward. Has all your controls and the app you need to download for your phone for the FPV. Well, that is if it's a Wi-Fi. This is supposed to be a 5.8 camera. Let's find out. The controller looks pretty good. It's a 2.4 gigahertz controller. It looks like it's going to take 4 AA batteries. Let's look at the drone here. There's the camera cover, the canopy, and the main frame. Yep, there's a little 5.8 gigahertz camera. There's your little tiny circuit board. Wow, this is going to be fun to put together. Looks like I got 8 props with it. LiPo battery. It's going to be a 3.7 volt at 300 milliamps. Oh, it's got the little thumb knobs for the controller. Got a charger for the LiPo. Got a prop tool, and there is the 4 motors. Well, let's go ahead and take a look at getting this put together. Move some of this stuff aside. There's a little circuitry board. Motors. So let's see here. So we're looking for the what letter or number each side of this board is. And I'm not seeing which one's B and which one is A. I'm assuming maybe it doesn't matter because it is a quadcopter, so it does look like it should be fine. Put that on there. And well, okay, maybe it goes this way. Well, they don't have a spot for the antenna to come out, so I guess it comes out right there by the motor. I don't see another slot for the camera to come out. So, and this is for the camera there. Well, that's in place. I don't like the way these wires are. We'll see how it pans out. Go ahead and get the camera out here. Wow. Look at that little thing. It's about the size of a 50-cent piece. That is really small. That's pretty cool. So that goes in here. Well, that was pretty straightforward. Put that back on there. And don't know which way this camera sits on there. Well, that was my cat that just came down. Sorry about that. Let's see. Instructions aren't the greatest. Well, let's see here. This is A motors. So So I'm assuming these go in here like this. So you just push the motors in there. That's pretty easy. Slide in there. They got notches for the wires. That makes it nice. Keep it from pinching a wire. It's about the same size as my Hubsan H107D that I used to have. Got rid of it just because it was too small, and I didn't fly it that much. So I went ahead and got rid of it. This one here is small as well, but the fact that I got it for the camera more or less over anything else. So I can just plug those in. I wanted the camera because I thought it was something that I could use on other quadcopters or other aircraft as far as airplanes, just because it is so small and so lightweight, and it's 5.8 gigahertz. It's already got a transmitter and everything, so I thought that it would be pretty easy to do transferring the camera to whatever else I wanted to use the camera on. Oh, that's for the camera. Let's try that again. This stuff is kind of small. Okay, so I got that. Now it shows get off there. It shows that that's for the battery. Okay. So that powers the camera, or it powers the drone. Okay, so this is going to plug into the camera. And this should plug into the quadcopter. Well, we got power. Let's go ahead and unplug that. I'm going to throw some batteries in the controller real quick. Let's see here. Got 4 batteries here. Well, let's looks like the controller came on already. Alright, so let's see here. Go ahead and get these thumb knobs on there. Alright, so let's go ahead and turn the transmitter on. Plug the quadcopter in. Up, down. We should be binded to the quadcopter. Yep. Alright, well, let's go ahead and throw some props on there. Get the battery under here where it needs to go. And we'll get the camera mounted and go from there. See what happens. So those are propeller B, and that's A. So I see that you're supposed to push these wires down through here. Keep those down away from the propellers. There's one. There's another one. So this is B, so this is going to be A. Sorry this is taking so long, folks. This is something new to me, and it's relatively small, so it's kind of a stressful deal to get it all together, especially since the instructions aren't the greatest. Alright, so we need a B down there. Let's use this to get this wire through here. There we go. Okay, so that is a B. So that's a B. Alright. So we got that on, and I'm assuming the camera will face forward like so. Yeah, it looks like the camera is adjustable. That's kind of nice. Okay, so we need the power wire of the camera stuck down in this little slot here. Keep it away from the propellers. There we go. So that's under there, that's there. I think she's ready to go. Let's go ahead and plug it up. So that should be bound and ready to go. Let's see if it'll try to lift off any. Well, I'm not sure if I got the correct motors in the correct spot. afraid that I might have the front motors and the rear motors in the wrong spot, because I go forward and it tries to go backwards, and I go backwards, it tries to go forwards. So give me just a second, let me get this looked at, and I'll be back with you in just a second. Well, that took a little longer than expected. After reviewing the instructions that were absolutely no help, and then watching a few videos of other people putting this together and not having any issues, I decided to experiment. And as you can see, that is white and that is red. It's supposed to be red plug into that red socket, but it's not. I don't know if somebody was colorblind that put this together, but the red has to go into the white, and these are marked B, and that's B for the propeller. Those are correct. B here, B here, A and A. But the motors had to be switched to the wrong colors in order for this thing to fly. Because otherwise, this thing was spinning around in circles in the air, and you couldn't get it to stop. So, like I said, I did a bunch of research, and nothing was helping, so I tried that, and it worked. As far as the camera goes, camera's pretty nice. It can see in the dark pretty well. Only problem is the camera does get a little warm. I was trying to change the channels, and I noticed the camera was pretty warm, so I went ahead and turned it off. It does see in the dark pretty well, like I said. I don't know the range. It's too windy outside right now for me to take something this small. It'll end up in another state. But overall, it's really fidgety. It took me a while to get it trimmed out to where it would try to at least hover. It is very touchy. If you hit the throttle to try to maintain altitude just a little bit, it wants to slam up against the ceiling and just sit there. It's real touchy, real finicky. It is not the easiest thing to fly. I've got a Syma quadcopter. It's the Syma X5C. I can tell you right now that copter is a perfect copter for someone that is just getting into it. It's super easy to fly, crash resistant, you name it. But that's neither here nor there. It's about this quadcopter. It definitely is not for a beginner. This is something that a more advanced flyer is going to have to use. There's no GPS hold, there's no altitude hold. You're 110% in control of this, and any little movement of the stick, it takes off. There's not very much play. The controls could be a little bit better, but for the price point, I mean, what are you going to expect? It was $35 with shipping. And I mean, you get a controller, you get a quadcopter, you get a battery, a charger, 5.8 transmitter with a camera. I mean, I guess you can't really ask for a whole lot. It definitely does need some improvement, though, to be a good quadcopter. I've watched hundreds of videos on this thing, and everybody had good reviews on it. I'm not totally impressed with it. I will take this and get some more flight time with it, maybe outside on a calm day, and see what I can come up with, see if we can get it to fly a little bit better, and I'll let you guys know in another video if it pans out any better or not. So keep an eye out for video number 2 of this. This is going to be the DIY drone, and I'll see you in the next video.